Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of Gunpla TV. I am back from my break. Thank you very much, Mr. Evan, for taking over
the
lead role last week.
Yeah, it wasn't been a while for me too, actually.
We have a new employee, actually.
Yeah, Thomas. Thomas helped me out last week.
Thank you very much, Thomas, also for joining.
Yeah, he's a very knowledgeable guy with some of this stuff. So
I heard he builds plastic models.
He does. He does a lot of the military stuff and some of the Gundams. So
he has done the Gundam stuff. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. So
yeah, he's pretty good with that stuff. You know, he does like airbrushing and all that fun stuff too. So he gets really into it. So he might be good to have on the show some more too.
All right, so I'm sure we'll have Thomas on the episode again in the future whenever you're not available. We have like a rotating crew. I mean,
yeah, I think it's kind of basically.
That's kind of nice, though. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of, I don't want to say I've been stuck doing the thing, but I've been pretty much like the main person doing this episode now for the last 4 years since it's been, since Sid left, so.
Well, you're like the main host, and then you have like guest stars coming in.
Yeah, we have rotating crew of guest stars, but it is nice for me to be able to have a chance to like step off of the show and have other people do it while I'm not here. So
yeah,
keep things
it's
going.
kind of a nice way to do things because you get other people's opinions.
It is. It's nice to see fresh new faces on the show too. It's not just all about me, unfortunately, all the time. So, all right, but thank you, Mr. Evan. I was hoping to have you be back on the episode this week to join me because we actually have something kind of quite exciting to talk about.
Yes.
And you guys out there, you're watching, you're probably looking at all the products in front of us, and you're like, well, none of this stuff is exactly new. And that's actually correct, because this week there was really nothing at all new. There's nothing at all from Bandai Hobby until next week. Next week, we're finally getting 2 new kits in from Bandai Hobby. Other manufacturers, Kotobukiya, last week you guys had the new Kotobukiya stuff on, so there was really nothing at all else new that we could.
What it is about October, but I guess
Well, I think we are kind of seeing the effects of the shutdowns that started in March and April.
Good point.
So I think their October product lines were kind of in development during that period, but since nobody was at the office working, nothing was really kind of designed or developed for this time of the year. So
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
I think we're just seeing the results of that closure in April and whatnot. So, but we still have some exciting stuff to talk about. Actually, before we get into the main subject that we kind of want to talk about, there was, speaking of Kotobukiya as well, there have been some previous kind of Kotobukiya releases that we just have never had a chance to really bring onto the show and show off. And these are kind of some cool looking hexagear option sets as well as some like chain base type items. So these are really awesome type of things. Even though they are from Kotobukiya, they are not from Bandai. They still do work with your Bandai kits, especially HG stuff that tends to be smaller than master grades, and they've got some really nice details. That stair set looks quite awesome. It's actually larger than I was expecting.
Yeah, this is actually quite hefty too for something.
Yeah, I saw the image of that on the site and I was like, well, that looks kind of quite cool, but I didn't expect it to be in such a huge box. We got the DX headquarters, so you can do some really awesome looking kind of dioramas with some governors like running up the stairs and
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think if you were just looking at just the image on a website or something, you wouldn't really see how big it is.
Right, because I know this chain-based thing is not that big, so I kind of maybe expected it to be about this size-ish. Not that size, but yeah, when I went to grab it, I was like, hey, this is much bigger than I'm expecting.
Yeah, and you got like, it looks like the stairs fold up, because it's got like little joints on there maybe.
Oh.
And there's like a TV there, and you got a little like control panel and some computers. Cool.
That is exciting. So yeah, there's a number of other options that kind of go with that. We've got some like army containers. So it's kind of cool. They've got an image on the back of this thing. A little governor guy is kind of just sitting on top of the chest. So you can do some more kind of cool looking displays with that stuff and more stairs. Maybe if you don't have enough stairs, I'm sure this is probably the exact same stair system that's inside of that headquarters.
Oh, you think so?
I think, yeah, if you wanted to buy the stairs separately, then you got these panel option A and you got the lift option A. So, and then there was another kind of exciting looking display base down there too, the session base.
Non-scale plastic model kits.
So that's kind of cool, and this will definitely work with your Bandai kits as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
but they show it with a frame arm grill, and it's actually, this is in the frame arm grill packaging, but it'll work with anything you want.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, that's like a 3mm peg. So yeah,
same
pretty much
as what you
like high grades and stuff like that. Yeah,
jam inside of an
if you're gonna use it in Gundam. But yeah, cool.
That is cool stuff. So look for links for all of those items down in the description below this video. And I did grab one Bandai item, except this is not exactly a new item.
How old is that now? Like 18 years old?
22.
22. Oh my god.
So this is the original perfect grade RX-78-2 Gundam. It was released, I think it was November of 1998. 1998. So that's actually the year I graduated from high school. Class of 98.
I was 8 years old.
You were like elementary school?
Yes.
I'm old. Yeah, I was working at Disneyland. I remember I was working at Disneyland when this thing was released too. But actually, I've got an admission. I've never actually built this.
Have you ever done a perfect grade?
I've done, I've done perfect grades. I've reviewed some of the perfect grades. I've done all of the newer perfect grade stuff, but I've never... Especially when I was living back in America, I knew about this thing, but of course in America it was a bit expensive.
Especially back then, it was more niche.
Right, sure. It was more niche, and actually back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, that was the height of the kind of Fast and the Furious craze. So I was a lot more into cars back in those days. I had a Mark IV Supra, I had the AW11 MR2 Supercharged. So I was spending all of my money on car stuff back in those days, which when I moved to Japan, I was like, I'm going to finally buy myself an R32 GTR Skyline, or I'll buy another Supra. It still hasn't happened yet one of these days. Now I'm into modeling. But yeah, so 1998, this original perfect grade.
I wonder how it holds up. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen like the innards, but like, compared to like a modern day like master grade, even I wonder, like, how it compares.
22 years, a lot of things have changed since this original guy was released, and probably if you're watching this channel, you probably already know where this is leading to, and that is because actually just today, the day that we are filming this video, Bandai has just finally announced, they previewed it earlier, but they finally announced all the details for the brand new perfect grade RX-78
Unleashed.
Unleashed. So yeah, we had the extreme, we had an extreme unicorn just the other month. Now we are getting a Unleashed perfect grade, and this is going to be a kit that is due out in December. So yeah, we've only had like an hour actually to look at this information before we start to record this video, so it's really fresh on our minds, but we haven't really remembered everything, so apologies if we kind of missed some of the details from this, because they released a ton of details about this this new December release kit. All right, so let's talk about some of the details that they have released that we do remember anyway for this perfect grade.
And I'll start with the
kit. So yeah, where should we start?
I think the system is like the most unique part of the perfect grade, other than like obviously it's got like a lot of detail, but they're doing something new this time, it seems like, because I don't think they've done this before, where they have like a innermost skeleton, which we've had those in master grades and stuff like that, but it's like
you always get that inner frame,
right? But in this one, like I think with other perfect grades too, it was always like you did the inside and then the outside would be immediately done before you started working on other parts. Like you do a leg and it was like the whole thing, right?
Yes, you put the frame of the leg together, then you put the armor on the outside.
Right.
So you kind of work. Well, I don't know how the instructions are going to work with this one. Is that going to be that? But
they didn't go into that. But it seems like they're trying to sell it as you do the innermost frame first.
Yeah, it looks like there's different stages of the inner frame.
Yeah.
So you got like one complete inner frame part, like a very bare basic inner frame,
like
then
a skeleton, and then
you put more inner frame parts on the outside. Then you put even more metallic colored inner frame parts on the outside of that before putting the armor pieces on. So it's like,
which I like the most,
3 stages of inner frames for this kit before finally putting outside armor on.
I like that because it gives you a chance to see all the details before you put the armor on the outside.
Right.
Because I mean that's half the fun of like the perfect grade, is just the amount of detail.
Yes.
So if you're putting all the armor on and you don't get to see the inside, it's not as cool. Like that's why I had like the Perfect Grade Mark II. I just had half of it where it was
had
just
the
skeleton.
armor and just the skeleton.
Yeah, because it was kind of just half the appeal was just seeing all the inside, especially if you paint them and stuff like that. So that's kind of a cool concept, I think.
It does look cool, and just the images that we've seen released so far. So definitely be sure to go to the Gundam.info page. That's Bandai's official page where they're showing off all the details for this. If you want to see some really get a closer look at some of these images anyway, head over to Gundam.info. But yeah, you can see there's just tons of details on this inner frame. It looks like a real mechanical type of suit. So
I like the realism.
They're really doing a good job for that. And of course, having this inner frame, it has a lot of mentions about articulations for this thing. It says 94 points of articulation throughout the body.
That's really cool.
So 94 points.
I like even in the video. If you watch the video, there's just joints in the neck that move on their own. So it's not just one giant solid piece of plastic. It's there's multiple parts that really don't need to move, but they do, and it looks really, really cool.
And that makes you wonder, with so many points of articulation, how difficult is this build going to be?
I hope it's as difficult as possible because I need a challenge.
Yeah, this really might be the most difficult Gundam kit to date. I
really hope so.
This is going to be the first kind of perfect grade that really puts what do I want to say? Really is the definition of a perfect grade.
Yeah, because before when this first came out, it was a big deal because it was pretty different. But since then, perfect grades kind of almost just became a 60, 1 out of 60 scale master grade. They kind of the differences weren't as obvious as they used to be,
right?
And so this really definitely seems more like a step up.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the master grades are actually having better details than some of these earlier perfect grades. So
right,
Bandai has made a lot of improvements in the last 22 years since this guy was released. So yeah, tons of articulation going on for this thing. Really cool inner frame, and it does mention. Well, we got some for that inner frame. We've got some different metallic part colors. So there's going to be lots of parts molded in different colors, and the metallic colors, different shades of silvers and coppers and gold type of metallic parts.
Other
I would
than,
imagine
special versions. Is this the first time they've had gold and silver chrome plated pieces in a kit like this?
I know we've gotten that before.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, perfect grades have done that before. Yeah, smaller parts, but this one definitely seems to have more.
Yeah, it looks like parts, this one is definitely going to have more of that, especially for that third stage of the inner frame.
Yeah, with some of the
the
scaffolding, I guess it would say.
The last stage right before you put on the body armor. I guess that's where you're going to really start seeing all these kind of metallic pieces. At least what it looks like from this. And speaking of metallic stuff, now you guys probably don't remember, but a number of years ago on this channel, I did a build of the 1/350th scale USS Montana. It was a very fire kit that I actually built for the Beaver booth at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. I built it in 700 scale. I built the Montana both in 700 scale and in 350 scale. And I think I brought both of those ship kits on the show, and I did do a video for both of those old Montana kits. But when you're building those ship kits, especially in the 700 scale, when you want to have some really fine details, you need to work with photo etch parts. And this is going to be the first Gundam kit that I can recall anyway that is going to have photo etch metal parts.
Which I feel like it's a lot overdue, so I'm kind of glad they're doing this.
It does, but I mean, Gundam, the ship, I still think those ship photo etch parts are going to be a lot more complicated. It looks like these are going to be self-adhesive type, so it's going to come pre-colored from the factory, and it's going to have a glue type of thing onto it.
I'm okay with that. I suppose
just like a sticker, basically, an actual metal part sticker made of photo etch that you're going to put on. It's going to give it some better detail. But it's exciting to see photo etch parts make their way into Gundam kits.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be in the inner parts of the exhausts on the chest, and maybe a couple other places too. But it looks
probably the places where you'll really be able to see the inside of it, through those vents on the chest, and other places where you'll really be able to see them. And not only do we have etching, those photo etch metal etching stickers, But we also have, it looks like, plastic metal stickers as well.
Yeah, I know in the video it showed some that like in the knees and stuff like that. So it's not like those like typical foil stickers, which I know a lot of people were upset about with the Master Grade EX one, but some people are like, oh really, you still get foil stickers for like the horn and all that, but this one doesn't seem to have many, or at least they didn't show any.
We haven't seen what kind of stickers or decals. I think they mentioned what kind of decals. Yeah, we were trying. I was just trying to look at that before, right before doing this video, but didn't see anything about that. But the foil stickers, it looks like they're kind of being replaced by actual metal stickers. So you'll have like really real metal detail parts on the outside of the kit, which is going to look really, really fantastic. And not only that's not the only metal things that we have to talk about. This kit is really metal.
Yeah.
We've also got
along with the Unleashed
aluminum parts, and so
I think it was the thrusters on the back were supposed to be aluminum.
The veneers,
like
the thrusters, they're actually going to be made of metal aluminum this time instead of plastic. So those are there's other manufacturers that make those aluminum detail parts which you can add to the kits after, but nothing that's ever come officially from Bandai before. So it's exciting to see those actual metal detail parts come from Bandai this time. And we also are getting magnets. So this kit's going to be using magnet mechanisms in the shields and the guns, so you don't have to stick a peg into the arm to get the shield to connect. It looks like there will be a magnet inside the shield and a magnet inside of the arm, and you can just bloop.
I missed that detail, and I like that a lot. That's actually
stick it on. Really good. That's going to be.
You got all those little pegs, and you're trying to stick them in the hands and stuff like that. If they snap off, heaven forbid, then you're just.
Yeah, that's always, especially when you've got the hands with the movable joints. But it looks like this kit's going to have just fixed hands. It mentioned like a bunch of fixed posed hands.
Yeah, I wonder, because it actually has chrome in the inner skeleton of the fingers too. So I'm assuming that it gets exposed when you're like bending the fingers. I thought, but who knows? Well, I guess we'll see.
We will see, indeed. And that's like not all. It just feels like there's been so many details
lots of stuff,
that we've been talking about this kit. And that's really not all. As you saw last month, was it, when I did the video for the Extreme Unicorn, it had that really extreme fancy kind of LED light system. This kit is also going to feature a really great looking LED lighting system. By the look of it, it's going to have like 4 different colors that it'll be able to light up into.
So something about different modes, but I mean it's really just different colors, and
that's going to be quite cool. You'll get the lights like shining out through the vents on the inside of it. And gosh, what else is there?
There's also lights in the beam saber.
The beam saber, yes. So
that was really cool.
That's going to be cool. So we had the LED lights for the shields on that Extreme kit. So it's going to be really cool to get the lights going for that beam saber. That's going to be
wait to see what that looks like.
Awesome. And also, all right, so you're going to be able to open up a ton of like exposed panels as well. So
which I feel again is like the biggest thing, that the biggest selling point of like the Perfect Grade, seeing all the details. So having all those open up.
So you'll be able to see all those cool metallic parts on the inside when you open up all of those vents. This thing is going to, I mean, it's just taking a long time just to talk about it. For this preview only. I wonder how long the review for this thing is.
It's probably going to be pretty hefty.
It will not be one video. There's no way that I could. It would end up being like a 3-hour video probably.
You might have to even just do one for each stage.
Right. I might just have to do a review for the inner frame, then do it for the armor, and then do it for like with the vents on plus the lights. So I'll probably, more than likely, will have to end up breaking it up into multiple parts because there is just tons to talk about with this thing. And last thing, batteries are sold separately.
What are you gonna do?
It says it requires 2 LR41. That's little round coin type of batteries.
Oh, they are, okay, yeah.
So I think that's the same type that are required for some of the other parts too. So yeah, it looks like some of those will be separately. Although it does say a lithium battery is included. So maybe 1 battery is included, but 2 batteries are separate.
I bet you that might be the battery for the beam saber, because that's separate. Yeah, and I bet you, since it's such a really thin and small thing, it's kind of more of a harder to find battery, so they're throwing that in. Maybe, if that was that would be my guess, but we'll see.
We will have to see. So this kit is coming out in December. Is the release date. So usually Bandai always gives us something big for the month of December, and We didn't have anything yet. There was the real grade Xeon.
Yeah. Was that coming out this year too?
I thought that was a December release, but I was like, that can't be the only thing. But also they had previewed this, the new perfect grade for this thing back in March or February.
Yeah,
was it?
Quite a while ago. Yeah,
that this thing was on the way. Just no details finally until now. So also, yeah, this brand new perfect grade, real grade, unleashed perfect grade that we've been talking about just went up for pre-order today on our site. Quantities may be limited, so if you are interested in getting this kit, be sure to look for the link in the description below of this video, and if it's available, get your order in as soon as possible if you are at all interested in getting this thing, because yeah, with those limited quantities, don't know how fast.
Especially the first batch, it's usually not a whole lot from Bandai, because I mean, you know.
Especially with this kit, you've got the photo etch metal parts and all these, the lighting system, which will be coming from China. So a lot of it's not something they're only going to be pumping out from the factory down there in Shizuoka. So lots of different parts are going to be supplied for this kit. So don't know how long it would be before we get like a resupply of this thing. So get your order in as soon as possible. And if you are at all interested in building the older kit, this is of course also still up for order on our site, and it has been since 1998 because HobbyLink Japan started back in the late 90s, so actually the description for this original perfect grade was written back then. I think it was probably written by Scott himself back in 1998, because it was just him and maybe just 2 or 3 or just a handful of people back in the day. Early days of the company. So yeah, we've been selling this kit for the last 22 years live on our site.
Still going strong, you know?
Still going strong, and hopefully we'll be able to sell this new kit for the next 22 years as well. So
and finally I'll get one 20 years later. Just like this one. Maybe I'll get this one soon.
Right. All right. So gosh, thank you very much, Evan, for joining me. Thank you all out there for watching this video. Lots of exciting things are on the way, and I think we finally do need to end this video because it has gotten a bit long here. So yeah, thank you very much for watching us. Oh, did you want to mention anything about giveaway?
Yes, I'm very sorry about September because I was kind of a little bit busy. So I guess the September giveaway is gone, I guess. But I will try to get here again next week.
All right.
And then we're going to do the October one. Or I'm sorry, I guess we do the September comments for the 1st of October, right?
Yes. So the prize for whoever commented in the month of September will win the prize for October. So yes, we do, if you're new to this channel at all, we do a hopefully monthly 5,000 yen HobbyLink Japan store credit giveaway. It will not be enough to buy a perfect grade, unfortunately, but 5,000 yen would be quite enough to knock off a chunk of that kit, or you could probably get some of these other cool Kotobukiya mechanical base type of things as well. So all you need to do to enter the win the 5,000 yen HobbyLink Japan store credit giveaway is just post a comment either on any of the YouTube videos for the Gunpla TV or on our actual site itself, hobbylink.tv, in the comment section for any of these videos. And that will do it. That's all you need to do to enter. One lucky random winner will be chosen.
Even if I'm not here next week, I'll at least make sure somebody who is on the show has the winners. So keep an eye out for that.
Thank you very much. And that's finally going to wrap it up, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
For this video. So thank you all once again, if I've already said it, sorry. Thank you all once again for watching this video, and we'll see you again next week with some actual new Bandai Hobby releases.
Yay! See you next week.